Good morning, it's day 47, hiking home for shelter on the PCT with, wait for her, there she is, 26.2, and Best Western, and a whole bunch of other people just waking up in Hikertown, where we have little cabins and trailers and storage rooms all turned into Western town themed accommodation. It's not the Ritz, but it was dry, safe, dark, and indoors. So we are very grateful to be up having had a good night's sleep rather than having to go in our wet tents last night. Right, 26.2?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at all the hikers that have passed us. Here we are chatting about green tea frappuccino at Starbucks. And there's more coming up the path. This is Hikertown rush hour, about 7 a.m. And we had a whole bunch of hikers there last night because of the rain the previous day. There was a bit of a backup from people staying the day before yesterday. They didn't leave yesterday because of the rain, and then we all arrived, and the owner was really nice and just let everybody double up and sleep where they could. I was in a storage trailer. Hey, I slept in because it was so dark. There was no windows. There were no windows. Other people were camped in the horse corral. Hey, you taking a video of me taking a video of you taking a video? Oh, picture. Anyway, lots of people were housed by the charity of Hikertown, $5 a head. I mean, it's crazy. And they also own a restaurant down the road, and they shuttled people down there and put them in their back room, shoulder to shoulder, just so that people wouldn't be out in the rain if it came, which it didn't, but at least they didn't have to pitch their wet tents. We all got to dry our tents, got to wash our clothes, have a bit of a shower and some decent food, and we are on the trail again. The California Aqueduct. It actually contains aqua, saving water throughout the state by channeling it through a cement, what would we call that? Duct. Open duct. Very interesting. We will be following this feat of engineering for the next couple days, I think. And not such an exciting route, but interesting nevertheless, and a change from being up in the mountains. So the morning continues on the, I don't even know what the name of this road is. Anyway, on our journey between Hikertown and Tehachapi, which is going to take a couple of days. And I just wanted to show you, this is very different from what I've been seeing so far on the PCT. This is wide open country. I've seen some cows, but only in the distance. Most of this land left and right of this road is fenced off, private property. But this is mostly level, slightly uphill now. We have a sandy path to walk on. And next to the aqueduct is still under there, or I guess it's an offshoot of the aqueduct, except it's covered in cement here. So I think it's a big pipe or something. I don't really begin to understand it because we are so blessed with so much water in Canada and Ontario, or Ontario and Canada in general, that we don't have to think about these things. So this is the where I cross the edge of the Mojave Desert. It's very dry, and normally it's brutally hot. Like, it's reportedly the worst slog of the PCT, and takes people a couple of days due to having to go so slow because the heat is usually brutally intense. Well, after yesterday's cold front and rain, I guess there's a bit of residual coolness in the air, because we are so lucky. It's only about I don't know, 15 degrees 70 degrees maybe Fahrenheit, and there is a very nice breeze that's cooler than the sun. So we are really, really lucky. In the history of the PCT, I don't think any hikers have done the aqueduct hike without nearly dying in the heat. So just feeling thankful right now for the good weather. Oh, isn't this a look? So pretty. I am taking refuge in, I swear, the only piece of shade in the entire Mojave Desert that I've seen all day. I've done 15.6 miles, and we all agreed we would go to 23 and change. That gets us out of the floor of the desert and beyond. Do you see them up there? Beyond the, oh no, can't make it closer on this setting. What do you call them? Wind turbines. They're just over that ridge. I'll shoot them when I get closer. I just wanted to take this resting, shady opportunity to let you know about a great Facebook Messenger video call I just had with Susan Holden. Susan Holden works at Classic FM in Collingwood, and she took the initiative of reaching out to me, and even though I didn't have reception, I could barely respond to her, she took it upon herself to write an ad in aid of Hiking Home for Shelter, and then presented it to Creative at their station, and they approved it. A classical music station. They stretched their scope for our beloved local shelter and national violence prevention programs, because they understand the importance of this challenge and the great financial need our friend's house has in Collingwood, and other shelters like it across Canada have. So thank you, Susan Holden. I know there are others out there that I need to name and thank, and I think I'm going to do that more often. I think that will help me connect with you too a little better, rather than isolating myself as much as I already am and adding to it here. So there's a whole bunch of people who have sponsored equipment, travel costs. Gerard Buckley of Mortgage Wellness sponsored my flights. Jen Tyndale and John Tyndale of Wasaga Beach Yoga and Beach Hearing sponsored my tent, which kept me dry in the most horrendous downpour the other night. I'm very grateful. Claire Laughlin sponsored my waterproof mitts. Claire, I wore them yesterday during the rainstorm. They were great. And Patty and Phil, my dear friends, who sponsored my cozy merino wool sleeping top. I think of you every time I put it on. So those are just a few people who have contributed to the expedition. But I wanted to take this moment while I was thinking of Susan after speaking with her to say thank you to Susan and thank you to Classic FM in Collingwood for your support of Hiking Home for Shelter. And don't forget, if you have not donated yet, you still can. Go to tinyurl.com/Hiking Home for Shelter. You can make your 100% tax-deductible donation to the Shelter Foundation. It'll be in trust for me until I get back, until I can cut a check to Julie, well, not to Julie LeBlanc. She's a fundraising manager at my friend's house, but to my friend's house, and to the National Shelter Foundation through Royal LePage. If you want to be an expedition sponsor, perhaps you have a business and you'd like a tax-deductible gift, you can put that through GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com/Hiking Home for Shelter, and you can choose some equipment or expedition costs to sponsor. Thanks for your support, everybody. It's really hot. Now I have to walk some more. Holy wind farm, Batman. Look at this. I am so glad they're all not turning at full speed, because they make a horrendous noise when they do that. It's just a breezy day, not a crazy windy day. So this is right at the edge of the Mojave. And tomorrow morning I'm going to be Well, so far I have to hike beyond the wind farm and then tomorrow morning go up into those mountains and start mountain ascents again. No probbies. I am hiking home from shelter. That's what I came to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. Elevations be damned. And still I'm crossing the wind farm. You hear that? I heard the silliest thing from another hiker, a younger hiker, when I was at the last water stop, and kids were all looking at the wind turbines. And somebody said, "Well, good place for a wind farm, windy enough." And the other kid, who I think may be a doctor, I can't remember if it's the same guy, says, "Oh, well, the wind wasn't always here. It's the turbines that cause the wind." What? It's the turbines that cause the wind? Oh, this was just a peaceful valley prior to putting all these turbines here. Oh, the things I'm hearing on the trail. And I just wished everybody well and moved on. So it's about 5 p.m. Been hiking since 7:30 a.m. Done about 18 miles. Gotta go to 23. The reason I say I gotta go to 23 is because that will give us 26.2 and Best Western are up ahead. That will give us a more reasonable distance to do tomorrow up in the mountains where there's tons of elevation gain before we go down into Tehachapi by the end of tomorrow.